What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everyone's having a good day and a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This is just the second YouTube video I've ever made in my entire life. So I hope I do a good job for y'all, and I hope this video helps out. I noticed there's no unboxing videos or anything really about the 2.5R on YouTube, besides the Bug 404. But he really don't have no unboxing videos. But if you want to know anything about a nitro engine, he's the right guy to watch. He's awesome. So let's get to it. So first of all, the box has this protective cling wrap. It's vacuum sealed all the way around it. So that protects the graphics and the cardboard box. It's pretty nice. So on the front, we have the 2.5R racing engine, the name, then the Traxxas brand logo, then a picture of the 2.5R, picture of the connecting rod, the sleeve, the piston rod and wrist pin and G-clip assembly. On this side of the box, we have the model number 5207R, which is the 2.5R engine with the IPS shaft and the recoil pull starter. We'll talk about what the IPS shaft means here in a minute. Okay, this is for use in a lot of different Traxxas models. It's a direct drop-in replacement for several different models that Traxxas makes. And all you need we'll talk about everything you need to be able to drop it in and go and run on a model. But it is ready to go. All you need is a few things. So the top of the box just has the name of the engine and another picture of it. And the bottom of the box has the same picture. The other side of the box talks about different engines. It talks about the Pro Point 15, the 2.5R, and it should be the 3.3, but it don't. Oh well. And it gives the different model numbers to each one of them engines. On the back of the box, we just got a big Traxxas logo and the 2.5R racing engine name. So like I said, this box has a vacuum sealed wrap around it, so you'll have to cut it open. It's nice that it's wrapped up like that because it protects the pictures and the logos and all the stuff on the box from getting scratched up and rubbed off during its time sitting at the hobby shop or being shipped online if you was to order it offline. And this is important for people that likes to keep their boxes. I personally love to keep the boxes and all the paperwork to my engines. It helps the value. You know, if you ever want to sell your engine, it brings more value. Plus, these Traxxas engine boxes are very nice to store your engine in whenever you're not running it. So, first of all, we've got the Traxxas manual that talks about the 3 different engines. It don't have the Pro Point 15, though. This is just for the 2.5R and 3.3, since they're so similar and they even share similar components. This manual is very nice. It's got all kinds of instructions and details about the engine. It talks about all the things from tuning to break-in, which I do not agree with Traxxas break-in. Please don't break your engines by Traxxas break-in. If you want to break your engine in the right way and you want your engine to last long, just go to Adam Drake break-in on YouTube or the Bug 404. Trust me, I used to break my engines in using the Traxxas method, and they would only last for about 5 gallons of fuel. Now that I do the right braking method from Adam Drake and the Bug 404, my engines last up to 10 to 11 gallons. But the best part about this manual is it's got a detailed, very nice, colorful pictures, and they're like in HD quality, step-by-step instructions on how to take your engine apart. That's very nice. It's also got good pictures and it's got good notes about troubleshooting your engine, what to do if it don't start, what to do if it gets stuck at top dead center. And it's got good stuff about tuning your engine. It talks about the air density, humidity, and the temperature outside and how that affects your engine. So this is a great manual. It's very nice, and it's made out of a nice material. It's not like a regular paper. It's like a nice thick kind of paper, and it's got colorful pictures on every page. No black and white. Very nice manual. The second thing we got is also a very nice manual. It talks about the Traxxas support guide and what Traxxas will do for you and how they can service you. It's got a detailed parts list of all the parts that's on the engine and all the part numbers to each part. This is an important page. This talks about the engine replacement plan and how you can get a brand new engine for half the cost when you trade in your old engine. The only thing though about this manual that it does not have is the TRX 3.3. The TRX 3.3 has a manual just like this. Which is right here. So this is a 3.3 manual. This is a 2.5R manual. They're pretty similar. They look just alike. Except the 3.3 manual has a very awesome exploded view diagram of the engine taken apart and all the part numbers and how it goes together. But the 2.5 manual, it don't. All it's got is that. So that sucks. Give me 1 second. The next thing we have is a very nice sticker sheet. There's several different stickers that says different things. It has different themes and styles. These are nice quality. They're colorful. They got a nice hard paperback sticker sheet that they're stuck to until you get ready to use them. The only thing is though, you got to cut each sticker out with scissors or a hobby knife. And I suggest wherever you're going to stick them to, get some alcohol and clean the area real good, and then let it dry. Then put the sticker on, and it'll make the sticker last and stay much longer, and it won't peel off easy. The next thing we have is the different positions of the throttle arm angle. Depending on what you're going to put this engine on, it'll take a different throttle arm setting. So this just goes over that. The next thing is your Traxxas warranty and a registration card. You fill this out and you send it in through the mail, and this will be your Traxxas warranty and whether or not they'll give you a new engine if something goes wrong with your engine. So you fill it out and send it in through the mail, and they'll know all about your model, where you bought it, how much you paid for it, and everything like that. And this just helps them take care of you better whenever something does go wrong and you need their help. You need Traxxas' help. Or you can also do this for them online. If you don't want to fool with having to mail it and fill it out, you can do it online on Traxxas.com too. The next thing we have is the nice thick soft foam padding, and this is really nice because it protects your engine. This box is also extremely nice. It's nice thick foam, but it's soft, so it protects your engine. This is very nice for storage if you're not going to be running your engine. And it just looks nice. It's just very awesome. They did a great job with these boxes. So we've got a small bottle of air filter oil. This really won't go that far. It'll only last you probably a few runs. And I suggest you get a larger bottle of the air filter oil, and it comes with a nice tip that you can use too. The next thing we have is a straight style intake boot for the air filter. This just, depending on what model you're going to put your engine on, you might have to use this and you might not. And it comes with a zip tie, so you can zip tie the air filter boot to the carburetor That I never do that. I've never had a problem with the air filter coming off while I'm running, or having a problem with it sealing up. But it's just supposed to help it seal off better and help your air filter stay in place in case you wreck or something like that. So it's nice they give you that. Next, we got the engine itself, which is very nice. It's wrapped up in this paper. So between this box and all this wrapping, they really make sure your engine is going to be taken care of while it's sitting at the hobby shop or being shipped. That's very nice. And like I said, this is a very quality box to store your nitro engines in when you're not going to be using them. And save all these papers and save the box. So when you get ready to sell it, if you want to sell it, it'll help bring more value, and you'll get more money for the engine. Because guys, these engines, the 3.3, the Pro 15, 2.5R, they're all still worth a good chunk of money, even when they're bad and they're blowed up and they don't run no more, because people love buying these engines so they can use them to do the Traxxas trade-in program. I've sold lots of these engines on eBay that was blowed up for a good amount of money because people like them and they like having the spare parts. So when it was called, like we was talking about, the model number of this engine called the TRX 2.5 with IPS shaft. What the IPS shaft means is it's the pilot shaft that the clutch bell goes onto and the flywheel and everything is one single piece that is built onto the crankshaft. That's all that means. Because some nitro engine models, this pilot shaft is a separate piece and it screws into place. This IPS shaft is very good for keeping your bearings, making your bearings last longer because it's more balanced. It doesn't vibrate as bad. It helps out with RPMs, spinning fast. It'll give you faster RPMs than a regular standard shaft with a removable pilot shaft. And it's also nice because it's got threads in case you want to use a screw or nut. A screw to hold the clutch bell on. And it's also got the ring that the E-clip goes into if you want to use the ring for the clutch bell. So it does come with the flywheel nut right here, which is very nice. But it sucks because they don't give you the flywheel cone. I don't know why they give you the nut but not the cone. That's really stupid if you ask me. So next, they give you an air filter. They give you the complete assembly. This is a very nice little air filter. It's got a mesh screen on the front, so it really protects your engine really good from dirt and debris and trash and dust. The only thing though is it doesn't breathe as good as the larger. Honestly, I would upgrade to one of these. I think this is $14. This whole assembly. It's a dual stage air filter. It breathes better. It'll give your engine a whole lot more airflow, and it'll give you a little bit more power and faster acceleration RPMs. It's just all around better because it's bigger and it breathes better. Just look at the difference. See how much bigger this one is than this one? But this is still really nice that they give it to you. It's got the pre-oiled filter inside. You don't have to oil it. It's already oiled. But you will need to clean it and re-oil it whenever that time comes. So next we'll talk about the carburetor. It's a 3-needle carburetor. It's got a, I don't know if y'all can see good. I don't know if I got good enough lighting. I hope I do. See that right there that I'm pointing at, that chrome circle? That's the idle speed adjustment screw. Then this top big black is a high speed needle. And then right here, this black circle with the slit is a low speed needle. It's got these Traxxas dust boots on the carburetor. This blue boot is very nice. Lots of people buy them to put on their other carburetor brands because the dust boot is so nice. It lasts a good long while. It always makes your carburetor go back to idle position. And it's good and soft. The only bad thing about these carburetors is it's a plastic bodied carburetor. That means the whole carburetor is plastic. It might not be plastic, but I'm pretty sure it's plastic. It might be some other material, but basically, long story short, is it's not metal. Really, nitro engines that's got metal carbs is a lot better. They last longer. They probably hold the tune better. They're easier to rebuild and clean. And also, this has a plastic fuel inlet. Most people like to upgrade to this OS 11K carb. See, it's a complete metal body carburetor. It's got a metal fuel inlet, and it's got a high speed needle, a low speed needle, a middle speed needle, and an idle speed needle. So it's got 4 needles. So you can do a lot with this carburetor. It tunes better, it holds the tune better, and it'll give your engine a little bit more pep and power than this stock Traxxas carburetor. The only bad thing is these carburetors are $100 brand new if you want to buy one. A-Main sells them, or OS.com sells them, OSengines.com. Yeah, they're just really expensive. But, I mean, if you got the money, they're worth it. They'll last long in the long run. Plus, if you ever get ready to sell it, people love to buy them, and you can make most of your money back. I've sold a lot of these on eBay. And, yeah, OS 11K carb. Good upgrade if you have the money. The next thing we'll talk about is the pull start that it comes with. One second. Okay, Traxxas pull starts, especially this pull start for the 2.5, 2.5R, and 3.3, is a very nice pull start. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this because it's brand new compression. Dang! Hold on, I have to do it off camera. Okay, see how long the pull cord is? It won't even fit in the camera frame. It's got a nice long, it's got a thick rope, it's got a rubber grommet, a rubber bushing right there that protects. It kind of helps cushion the spring whenever it goes back into the neutral position. So it's very nice. It's got a very nice housing. It's made of a good plastic material. It's got 4 screws. That's very nice. And you know, the Easy Start just has 3 screws. The Pull Start's got 4 screws, so it holds it onto your engine really well. And one thing about these screws is there's 4 sets of screws on this entire engine. And these 4 screws that holds the Pull Start and Easy Start on, see that blue Loctite? These are the only screws that's got Loctite, and that's the only ones that you should Loctite. Don't ever Loctite any of the other screws. These are Loctited for one simple reason. You're not supposed to tighten these down. If you ever have to take this Pull Start off or the Easy Start, when you put it back on, do not tighten these screws. Don't think you're doing a good job because you're making them good and tight. Whenever you tighten them down real hard, it squeezes the plastic case to the Easy Start and the Pull Start, and it binds up the gears, and it'll put pressure on them. It'll make it harder for your Easy Start motor to turn over. It makes it rough on your gears. It makes it rough on your Pull Start. And that's why they got blue Loctite on them. These screws, the hex head is a size 2.0. Okay, so something important here. As soon as I took that off, you see this ring right here, this coming off? This ring that I got in my hand right now on my finger? That's a PTFE washer. That's very important. Don't ever lose it. It goes on the pilot shaft before you put the Pull Start one-way bearing on. What that does is, do not ever put a metal in there. Always use the PTFE washer. That protects the metal on metal rubbing. See, if you didn't have that washer, the one-way bearing would be resting against the back plate, the metal of the back plate. And you can't have metal parts against metal parts rubbing against each other. That starter shaft spins at a very high RPM, and it'll wear itself out so much faster if you don't have that PTFE washer. So next we got the one-way bearing. Let me zoom in here. Sorry my hands are dirty. I've been working on a real engine today and they got stained with oil and they won't come clean. So please forgive me and I'm sorry if they look nasty. So the one-way bearing says Germany, which they're made in Germany. And they got an arrow that points to which direction they're going to be spinning in. These bearings are actually very nice. You might hear some people say they're crappy and they don't last long, but they do. You just got to regularly oil them. Just like I showed you in the manual, it talks about regularly oil them with 5W30 oil. That's because that starter shaft spins on the inside of this bearing really fast, high RPMs. It gets real hot. And you got to have oil to keep it cool and to keep it smooth and keep it running for a long time. I've got one-way bearings that's going on for 2 years now, and they work fine. They don't slip at all. But if you don't oil these regularly, after every few quarts of fuel you run, it will start slipping, and your one-way bearing will go bad, and your starter shaft will get wore out. And then it won't matter if you do got a brand new one-way bearing. If the starter shaft is wore out, the one-way bearing will still slip on it because the shaft's wore down. So that's a look at the bearing. And the way you know it always goes on the engine, just remember, the side with the letters always faces the engine. And another way you can know is, see how there's an indentation in the very bottom of the pull start? And see how the other side of the one-way bearing has a fat lip on it? Well, that fat lip sits down in that indentation. And that's how you know it always goes together. And see all this shiny stuff, even though it's a brand new engine, all this shiny fluids, that's oil. See, Traxxas knows that you should oil these and keep them oiled from the factory. The next thing we'll talk about is they do give you an exhaust seal that goes on the back of the engine. This is one of 4 seals on this entire engine. You've got the one exhaust seal right here. You've got the big back plate O-ring, and you've got an O-ring right there on the top of the carburetor, and you got one at the bottom that's down inside the crankcase. So that's not bad. You just got 4 seals to keep up with and make sure they're doing good at all times when you do your engine maintenance. They're only $1 a piece. Besides these 2 seals that goes to the carburetor, they're like, I think $20 or $22 because you can only buy them with a carburetor body. They come together in a kit. So that's kind of sucks. But I got some of the brand new O-rings right here I can show you. There's the exhaust O-ring, and see it's only $1.50. And here's a brand new back plate O-ring. It's only $1. So see, that's pretty good that they don't cost that much. And here's an O-ring that's going bad. I'll give you an example of one that's going bad. See all them strings and hair looking things that's hanging off around the edge of it? Every time you take the back plate off and rebolt it back on, it pinches this O-ring, and every time you do it, it'll bite little chips of it like that off. So that's normal. Next thing we'll talk about is this plastic cooling head cover. People might say, oh, that's crappy, it's plastic, it's cheap, it's junk. No, it's very good. This plastic cover will protect your engine from rollovers and from crashes. And they're only like, I know the 3.3 head cover that comes with screws is only $3. So this one is smaller and does not take screws. I'm sure it's only like $1 or $2. So these are very nice that you can always replace them if they do get beat up. And that way it'll keep your engine head really good condition. Who wants a nasty, scratchy engine head? That's the worst thing about nitros, having a scratched up cooling head. But if you don't want the cooling head, you can always take it off like I'm doing now. It's very hard because it's brand new. There we go. You can always take it off and run it like this if you like the way that looks better. Dang, see, I just scratched it up with that screwdriver by doing that. I'm kind of upset now. Okay, so you can run it like that. One other thing is, Traxxas gives you, it's called a Super Duty medium long reach glow plug. So it's nice they give you one of those, but honestly, Traxxas glow plugs, I've always found out they don't really last that long. Whenever I'm running them, they only last like a few quarts of run time. I've had some that goes bad literally within just a few days and a few times of running. I would highly recommend upgrading to the OSLC3 or OSLC4 glow plugs. They're like $3 more expensive than Traxxas. Traxxas glow plugs are $10 a piece. And the LC3 and LC4 OS glow plugs are $14 a piece. I think A Main Hobbies might have them for $12. But I've got all my glow plugs and all my other engines are OS LC4s. And they've literally been going on for months now, and they still glow and will run perfectly fine. They're really worth the money. So guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Oh yeah, well we'll talk about the back plate. These back plates are very nice because they got large screws that holds them onto the engine. You know, other engines has real small screws that holds them on. Or some has crappy Phillips head or flathead screws like that. So these screws are really nice because they're a giant. They're not giant. They're a big 2.5 millimeter size screw that holds them on. And the screws that holds the cooling head on is the exact same size, 2.5 millimeter. So that's nice. Really, you only need one driver to take this completely engine apart. And it's really nice that this engine has 5 screw holes, or screws that holds the cooling head down, instead of 4 like some engines. The more screws that's going around the cooling head, the better it is, because they give a more even seal and tightness that holds the cooling head down. So it's just better quality than 4. Here, we'll take the back plate off. Y'all want me to take the cooling head off too and look down at the piston stuff? I don't know why I'm asking y'all. Y'all can't talk to me now. I'm just goofing around. I might take it off. We'll see. Yeah, I guess I will. So after you remove them 4 screws, the back plate just comes right off. And these back plates are really nice. They're pretty high quality. They're very nice and very good. They last a long time. But what's nice about them is they got this big fat, see this big giant bronze or brass looking thing? That's a pressed in bushing. That's very nice because some nitro engines, they have a different metal material bushing right there. They don't have a bush. They might have something else other than a bushing, and they don't last long. But these Traxxas ones, they last a good while. I've never had a problem with them leaking or going bad, because if they do go bad, your starter shaft will start vibrating around in there, and then it'll wear out the connecting point on your crankshaft, and plus it'll be bad for your engine bearings. And it's got a nice big O-ring instead of a paper gasket. These O-rings, they'll last a long time if you take care of your engine. What's also nice is the starter shaft has 2 slots, 2 points that you can run them in. You can run it on one slot for a while, and then when it gets wore out, you can move it over and run it on this other slot for the rest of the time. And then when it comes time to replace this, whenever you want to rebuild your engine, These are only $10, so that's real nice. And there's a look at the... I can't turn it over. This has... The compression is unbelievable. It's so good compression. I can't even turn it over because there's not a flywheel. And I took the easy start off. I've already taken this one out? Oh, no. Which one do I got left? I can't see that great, guys, because I'm looking past my phone. So here's the bottom, the interior part of the cooling head. It's got one single copper gasket. You don't ever have to add any or remove any because it just takes one at all times. You know, some engines you gotta add more shims or take them away whenever you run different percentage of nitro fuels. The 2.5 and 3.3, you don't have to do that. You just leave it alone and run whatever fuel you want. All you have to do is just retune your carburetor for whatever fuel you're running. So there's the piston head and the brass sleeve. This is probably as far as I'm going to go for right now. I'm not going to take the rest of the engine apart. I've got a video about the internal components of a 3.3, and the 3.3 and 2.5R has the same. The crankshaft's made of the same material. The connecting rod is the same. And the wrist pins are made of the same material. The pistons are made of the same material. And I go over that more in detail in the 3.3 video I made. So if you want to know more about it, you can watch that video. The crankshaft is made of hardened steel. The piston is made of aluminum. The sleeve is a brass sleeve with a chrome polished interior walls. And what that's called is that's called ABC engines. That's the term you might hear when people talk about ABC or ABN engines. ABC is what you want, which is what this is and what the 3.3 is. They last a lot longer than the ABN engines. They got better compression, and they're just all around better than the old school ABN engines. Well, there's still a few ABN engines being made, I think. What ABN stands for is aluminum, brass, nickel. Okay, it's got a nickel-plated sleeve, and they don't last long at all. So yeah, guys. These engines, they do really well. They got a good amount of power, and they're good on fuel. You'll have a long run time with the fuel. They're good on gas, if you want to say that. And like I said, they got a good bit amount of power. I've had one of these on a Revo. I've had one of these on a Slayer Pro. I've had one of these on a T-Max, and they pop wheelies. They got good power. They hit 2-speed, second gear on the transmission. They'll top out at about 40 to 42 miles per hour. 3.3 tops out at about 45 to 47 miles per hour on most models. These engines will last anywhere between 8 to maybe 11 gallons of fuel if you really take care of them. I think my last 2.5R I had lasted 8 gallons before it went bad. And it still ran with 8 gallons on it, but once it warmed up, it would die or it wouldn't tune good because of the low compression. But you can always pay to have it repinched, or you can buy the new parts to rebuild it. Or these engines, they hold their value even if they're bad or blowed up. You can always sell these engines and make a little bit of money because people love buying the used blowed up engines, Traxxas engines, so they can trade them in and use them on the engine replacement plan. And they'll trade the blowed up engine in so they can get the brand new 2.5 or 3.3 or Pro 15 engine from Traxxas at half the price. I paid 200 something. I forgot. I think it was like 210 or 220 for this engine because I didn't have a trade-in engine to go. And if you was to buy this engine, so that's how it's like over $200 if you was to buy this without a trade-in. But if you do have an engine to trade in and you want the 2.5R, it's like $100 even. So that's not bad. And Jenny's RC, I don't know. I know the 3.3 on Jenny's RC is $136, but I'm not sure how much the 2.5 is. But check out Jenny's RCs. They have real good stuff for real cheap. I use them a lot. They have they got most Traxxas parts and engines. But they might not be in stock because everybody loves buying from there because they got good prices. These have chrome steel bearings. The bearings usually only last between 2 to 3 gallons. That's usually when I got to replace my 2.5 and 3.3 bearings after every 2 to 3 gallons. Another weak point on these, but I would upgrade to ceramic bearings. Acer makes an amazing bearing. That's what I use now. Acer ceramic engine bearings. They last forever. They give you higher RPMs. Your engine will run better and smoother. So check them out. Another weak point is the connecting rod. It does not have a top brass bushing like the bottom rod does. I'm sure you may have heard of this Traxxas con rod problem. What you can do is these are upgraded rods for the 2.5 and 3.3. See, they have top and bottom brass bushings and top and bottom oil ports. You can buy upgraded con rods, and in that way you won't have to worry about it. But if you don't have the money to buy an upgraded connecting rod, or you can't find them, just replace the stock rod every 2 to 3 gallons, and you'll be safe. And go ahead and replace the wrist pin too. Whenever you replace the connecting rod, you don't ever want to use a used wrist pin or used G-clip. Whenever you replace the connecting rod, it's only $3 for a new wrist pin and G-clip. So just go ahead and replace that whenever you do the connecting rod. And really, that's all the complaints I have about this engine. Is the bearings only last about 2 to 3 gallons, and the connecting rod's only good for about 2 to 3 gallons. Now, that does not mean you have to change the connecting rod after every 2 to 3 gallons. And that don't mean you have to change the bearings every 2 to 3 gallons. You might get lucky and yours might last a lot longer than that. I'm just telling you from my past experiences how long mine lasted. I have had connecting rods though. It's the stock rods that I didn't replace. I've had them last for about 7 or 8 gallons. But usually after about that amount of time, this is what happens. See what I mean? This part with the chunk missing, that's the top of the connecting rod, and it does not have a brass bushing like the bottom. So they wear out faster, they run hotter. This area gets a lot hotter than this bottom part with the bushing. It's a weak point, and that's what happened here. I think this one had 5 gallons of runtime on it, and that's what happened, a rod failure. So it's better to be safe than sorry, and go ahead and replace the connecting rod every 2 to 3 gallons. That's a safe point. It's worth it in the long run. If you spend this much money on a new nitro engine, then just go ahead and do it and take care of it. And if you don't care about doing that, and you hate maintenance and hate working on your RC, and you want to run it without replacing everything, that's fine. It's your engine. Go right ahead. More power to you. If you got the money to keep buying brand new engines whenever they do fail and blow up on you, that's great. I'm happy for you. But I don't have that luxury. I like to take care of my engines. One, I love tinkering on them and working on them and making them better, putting upgrades on them and seeing how good they run. But I love the 3.3 and the 2.5R and the 2.5 and Pro Point 15 engines. I grew up on Traxxas engines. I've had lots of them over the years. I used to work at a local hobby shop helping people. These are good little engines. If you just need a little runabout engine and you're just a regular basher, these are great engines. They're easy to tune, easy to work on, parts are cheap. There's a lot of support out there on them. There's a lot of upgrade accessories for them. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. That's about as far as I'm going to go with it for now. Thank y'all for watching. I hope this helps y'all decide on whether or not y'all want to get one of these 2.5Rs. Check out my 3.3 video if y'all like this one, or if y'all want to know about the 3.3. This is only my second YouTube video, and I don't know. I'm not going to make it a full-time job or nothing, but every once in a while I'm going to be posting about nitro stuff and things like I'm doing now, just because I like making videos and I like talking to other people about nitro related RC stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll catch y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.